let's add some materials to our site. So to do that, we're going to go to our tray here and click on your materials tab, and let's click here and let's start with our landscape fencing and vegetation tab, and let's go ahead and select this grass light green. And now let's make sure we are in our site block here that we created, or group, and let's select this paint and just start clicking on the areas where we will have grass, and there we go. So now let's add some concrete, and to do that, let's go over here to, let's see, it's asphalt and concrete, that first one. So let's start first, we'll do asphalt new for our street, and we'll go ahead and click here, and we'll just apply that to our street, and we'll go ahead and apply it all around the block. And we'll actually do the same for our grass. Let's click here and just kind of click around the whole thing. And now let's add some concrete for our driveway, and we'll do just this polished concrete new. Actually, let's do old, see what that looks like. It's not too bad. Oops, Control Z, undo that. There we go. And we'll even do our pad as that concrete as well. Okay, so now we have our driveway and pad set. And if we want to add a little bit more detail to this driveway, what I like to do sometimes is double click here and click offset. And let's go 6 inches and 6 inches again. And then let's come down 1 inch and again another inch, and double click for that 1 inch so that we have a little step coming down. And let's go ahead and bring these all the way out to the edge. Oops, let's go right about there. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want these to be concrete, these little ledges that we have here. And we can do the same on this side. And there we go. So now we have our street and we have our driveway. Now let's go ahead and unhide our model. Okay, so now let's apply some materials to our model. Let's go over here to materials, and let's go to brick, cladding, and siding. And let's just select a brick, and we'll just do maybe this rough dark one. And let's select our model, and we'll just begin to select some surfaces where we want to apply that brick to. And basically we'll do it all over the exterior of the house. Oops. And you may want to go into it a little closer and get all these extra little corners that may get missed. Yeah, I think we're okay on that back side. Okay. Alright, so just like that, we're adding a little bit more light to this model. Now let's add some material to our roof. Go over here to roofing, and for now we'll just select a basic roof shingles asphalt. And we'll just click on our roof and just click, and we can apply that to our roof here. And there we go. And okay, so now we have our roof and our brick done. So now we haven't applied anything to our windows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this eyedrop tool or sample paint, and I'm going to select the material we have on our door, and then we will go ahead and click on all of our windows here and apply that. Oops, let's back up one. There we go. And we're going to apply that to all these windows. And we could apply it to the door as well, or we could do a different wood. Let's do a different wood on there. So let's go to our wood layers, our wood materials, and we'll just select one from our selection here. It says wood floor, but we can make it work for this. So to do this, let's select that individual frame there, and then I want it to go the other way. So to modify a material, I'm going to use this select tool, and then I have it selected. I'm going to right click and go to texture, position. And then now it gives us these icons that pop up here. So right here, this one is to rotate. So it says I can click and drag my mouse and rotate, and I can also scale it, but I want to rotate it. And again, I can scale it as well, and just kind of put it where I think it looks good. And then I'm going to just sample it, and then I'll apply that to all the other ones as well. And then I'm just going to do maybe a darker wood on the overall group. And there we go. And I don't like the color that much, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it a little bit by clicking the sample, this paint. And we can edit our materials by going here to edit. And here we can change the colors and the saturation. So it gives us a lot of different options to work with our materials here. So let's make it a little darker, maybe about there, and then we have to darken this one as well. Let's go to select, click there, and we can darken that one quite a bit as well. Okay. Alright, and then now let's apply a color to just our fascias over here. So we're going to go to select, and let's just go to a color, and we'll try to make a cream color that matches. And we'll just start with something. We'll just start with this one. And there, it's just barely noticeable. Let's go to edit, and let's darken it, and we'll change this saturation. See if we can darken it some more. Maybe give it a more of an orange hue. And now maybe we lighten it a little bit. Grayed out. So just kind of playing with it to get a matching color feel to it. Maybe about there, looks something about normal that you would see. This is a typical look here in Texas that you'll see in a lot of houses. Just something like this. Or we could even go with just a really dark look to it, and that could work as well. And we can also change the color of our roof. So to do that, let's go to select and select our roof color here. Right now it has a little bit of this weird tone to it. So let's go ahead and just make it more gray and maybe darken it up. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit more browns to it. There we go. So I think that matches a little better, and maybe we can add a little bit more color to our fascia. So somewhere around there where kind of get it to match a little bit. Okay, so there we go. We have our materials added to our house. Okay, so we have our house here with the material on it, but you know what? I want to make this look more modern, to something that's a little bit more up to date. So to do that, we're going to use our sample paint and select that brick, and let's go to edit again, and we're going to go with a more of a painted brick look. To do that, I'm going to click this colorize icon here, and then let's just kind of make it whitened out, maybe about there. And now let's go to our roof, and let's change this to maybe just more of a gray, maybe a little darker, or maybe do you want it lighter? We can play with that a little bit. What I do know is I want to make my soffits dark, so let's go with maybe a darker look like that. And let's also change our garage door, and let's go back to a painted look like our doors. So to do that, let's go and select this same material here, and we'll go ahead and select everything, and let's go ahead and darken it up a bit. We still have a little bit of color in our brick. Let's see if we can get rid of that. So we select it, and here we have 1. We're just going to go to 0, and there it's completely void of color. It's just a gray tone, and that looks good there. Okay, So let's add a little bit more detail here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some wood soffits to here. And for this, I'm going to show you how we can actually add some custom materials. So one place I like to go to grab my custom materials is SketchUp Texture Club. So here's a free commercial for you guys, but it's actually a good source for you to find some nice textures. So basically you just go to textures, and they do ask you to create a login, but they do have free textures for you. So if you go here to architecture, and we can just select the types of materials we want. Let's say if we want a wood, we'll click here, and here it just gives us different types of wood. Let's see, they also have exterior, let's see, wood planks. Let's try wood planks, and let's see what comes up. Yeah, so here we go. So here we have just lots of different siding types. Here we have 322 different types of wood sidings. We just go through them. There's a lot to choose from, and we can also just grab stuff that we find from Google. So if you go to Google, you can also find textures. So we can type in something like wood texture, and you can go to images and see what comes up. And you can actually use any one of these and create a texture out of it. So we clicked here, and you just clicked, you could even just say save images, save image. You can create a texture out of anything you find that's a JPEG or something like that. So let's go over here, and now to use a custom texture, what I'm going to do is first I'm going to start with just a regular color, and just place a color there. Now I'm going to hit edit, and I want to use a texture image, and I'll go to some that I have already saved in my materials, and I highly recommend that you create your own library of materials. So I believe I have some under wood, and let's find one that I want to use for this, and let's see, and we can try perhaps this one. Actually, yeah, let's go with this one right here, this V-Groove wood. And there we see it automatically popped it in, but I want to change the scale of it, which I can do right here. And let's go to about 3 feet. Nope, let's do more. Maybe about there might work. And let's go ahead and see if we can break it so that we can turn the angle of it. Okay, so let's go to texture, position, and we're going to rotate it, and we're going to try to match it up as best as we can to where all those line up. It's a little tricky because we can't really type in the exact rotation or the exact scale, so we just kind of have to maneuver it the best you can to get it close. And we could possibly scale it to see if we can get it just about right. And there we go. That looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and add that to this over here. And here I'm just going to grab this same wood from there, and then I could just use this sample and go there. And then here we just need to create a division so we can turn this one here just to get it in the direction that we want it to go. And here we're just going to make it match. Okay. Alright, so now we got some nice looking wood underneath our soffits there. So now the next thing we want to do is add a little bit more detail to this model.